Hey there, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about something that might seem small, but can change your life in a big way. The power of saying no. Have you ever felt like you're drowning in commitments, saying yes to everything and everyone, only to end up feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or even resentful? If that sounds familiar, then this is for you. We're going to dive into why saying no is so important, how setting boundaries can build peace in your life, and how you can start doing it without feeling guilty or afraid. Let's get started. Why is saying no so hard? Let's be honest, saying no can feel really tough. From a young age, many of us are taught to be polite, to please others, and to avoid conflict. Think about the TV shows or stories you watched as a kid. Characters were often shown as heroes for being helpful and saying yes to everyone. But when we carry this mindset into adulthood, it can backfire. We say yes to things we don't want to do just to avoid disappointing someone. We take on extra work, agree to plans we don't have time for, or help others at the expense of our own needs. The result, we end up feeling anxious, unhappy, or even angry because we've neglected ourselves. Tiny Buddha. This struggle often comes from how we're socialized. Society tends to value people who are always available, always accommodating. But constantly saying yes can lead to a subpar life and healthy relationships, burnout, or even resentment. The good news, you can change this by learning to set boundaries and saying no when it matters. What are boundaries and why do they matter? So, what exactly are boundaries? Think of them as invisible fences that protect your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. They're the lines you draw to define what you're comfortable with and what you're not. For example, deciding not to answer work emails after 6 p.m. is a boundary. So is telling a friend you need some alone time instead of going to every social event. Boundaries are like a promise you make to yourself about how to want to live your life and engage with the world. LinkedIn. Why are boundaries so powerful? Because they help you prioritize what's important: your time, your energy, your peace. Without boundaries, it's like letting everyone walk through your garden and trample your flowers. But when you set clear boundaries, you're protecting your space so you can thrive. Research suggests that people who set boundaries, like leaving work on time or taking mental health days, manage their stress better and have improved mental health. The Guardian. Plus, boundaries make your relationships healthier. When you're not stretched thin, you can show up as your best self for the people you care about. The power of empowered refusal. No. Let's talk about how to say no in a way that feels good. Vanessa Patrick, a marketing professor at the University of Houston, calls this empowered refusal. It's about saying no in a way that's rooted in your identity, values, and priorities. It's not about rejecting others, it's about honoring yourself. One key trick is to use the phrase, I don't instead of I can't. For example, saying I don't eat chocolate cake sounds stronger and more confident than I can't eat chocolate cake. I don't shows conviction and makes it less likely for others to push back. Stanford Graduate School of Business. https://www.gsbascending-sb.stanford.edu. Insights. Power no how boundaries help us live more empowered lives. Closing parenthesis. Patrick also talks about the ART framework for empowered refusal: awareness, knowing what's good for you; rules, setting personal policies based on your values; and totality of self, aligning your actions with who you are. For example, you might have a personal policy like I don't take work calls on weekends. This makes saying no easier because it's a clear rule you've set for yourself. Another tip, use positive body language when saying no. Smile, a kind tone, or a gentle gesture can help maintain relationships while still standing firm. Real-life inspiration, Simone Biles and beyond. Let's look at a real-life example of the power of saying no. In 2021, gymnast Simone Biles made headlines when she withdrew from most of her Olympic events to focus on her mental health. Her decision was a bold no to the pressure of competing under emotional exhaustion. It wasn't easy, some criticized her, but her choice sparked a global conversation about mental health and inspired many to prioritize their own well-being. Her no was a powerful act of self-respect that challenged societal expectations, especially for women. The Guardian. Here's another example, a fictional one. Meet Alex, someone who's always the go-to person at work, taking on extra projects, staying late, helping everyone. But Alex starts feeling burned out and resentful. One day, they decide to set a boundary. I will only work during my scheduled hours. At first, its tough co-workers are surprised, and the boss isn't thrilled. But over time, Alex feels more focused, less stressed, and even happier. Their work improves, and their relationships with colleagues become healthier because they're no longer harboring resentment. That's the magic of saying no. Asterisk, you are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to live a life that feels honest, healthy, and whole. Boundaries help you do that. They protect your time, your energy, your mind, your heart. So next time you feel that heavy pressure to say yes, remember this: you are allowed to say no, not out of anger, not out of pride, but out of love for your own life. Because no one else is going to guard your peace if you don't say no to stress, say no to guilt, say no to fear of disappointing others, say no to anything that breaks your soul just to look polite. Say yes to quiet, say yes to rest, say yes to time alone, say yes to meaningful relationships, say yes to your truth. And remember, every time you say no to what doesn't feel right, you make more room for what does. More room for peace, more room for real joy, more room for a life that feels like your own. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And it starts with one word. No. Practical tips for setting boundaries. So, how do you start setting boundaries? It might feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to saying yes all the time. That's okay, it's a skill you can learn. Here are some practical tips. Start small. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations. For example, if a friend asks you to join a last-minute plan you don't have energy for, say, "Thanks for thinking of me, but I'm going to pass this time." It's simple, but builds confidence. The Guardian. Use technology as a buffer. If saying no in person feels hard, tell the person you'll think about it and respond via text or email. This gives you time to decide what's best for you. Stanford Graduate School of Business. Set personal policies. Create rules like "I don't work after 6 p.m. or I don't lend money to friends." These policies make decisions easier because they're based on your values. Mine matters. Be kind but firm when saying no. You don't owe anyone a long explanation. A simple, "I need to prioritize my time right now," is enough. Stay kind but stand your ground. You might also face pushback, especially from people used to you saying yes. They might try to guilt trip you or make you feel bad. But remember, you're setting boundaries for your well-being. If someone doesn't respect your no, that's their issue, not yours. Over time, most people will adjust, and your relationships will be stronger because they're built on mutual respect. Hardened Life Resources. How to know if you need boundaries and ensure if you need to set better boundaries. Ask yourself these questions. Question why it matters. Though you often say yes when you want to say no, indicates you're prioritizing others' needs over your own. Do you try to fix others' problems at the expense of your own needs? Suggests you're overextending yourself, leading to burnout. Do you feel guilty or anxious about setting boundaries? Shows a fear of disappointing others. Which boundaries can help overcome? Do you experience stress or burnout due to your workload? Highlights the need for limits to protect your mental health. Do you struggle to express your needs without feeling guilty? Points to a lack of practice in valuing your own well-being. If you answered yes to any of these, it's a sign you might need to work on your boundaries. Mine matters. The reward: a life of peace and fulfillment. When you start saying no and setting boundaries, you create space for what truly matters, whether it's time with loved ones, pursuing your passions, or just resting. This isn't about controlling others. It's about taking control of your own life. It's about deciding what you want your life to look like and making it happen. Every no you say is a yes to something that aligns with your values, whether it's rediscovering your voice, building confidence, or finding genuine fulfillment. Herbs that heal. Wrapping it up, saying no is not selfish, it's essential for your well-being. By setting boundaries, you're building peace in your life, one no at a time. Start small. Practice saying no and watch how it transforms your life. You deserve to live a life that's true to you, filled with peace and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me today. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share this with anyone who might need to hear this message. Let's spread the word about the life-changing magic of saying no and building boundaries.